good evening, and welcome to Tea Time.
Welcome to Tea Time. Yes, it is Monday. It is 8 o'clock. We are in studio. Thank God. I'm going to talk about my weekend really quickly and then get to my guest. Friday night, I was here. I was actually at Bobby Lacera's open mic. Bobby Lacera, the owner of Paradise Beautiful Paradise Studios here, does an open mic, and it was wonderful. He had musicians, he had singers, he had two bands, he had comedians. I actually did not plan on getting up, but someone twisted my arm and I got up and did a few minutes. And you know what? It was a lot of fun, and it's a great night. So if you're not ever doing anything on a Friday night and you want to come down, it's $5, right, Bobby? $5 to get into the door and see some really talented people here on Long Island. And it starts at 7 p.m., right? Okay, 7 p.m., and it goes to whenever it ends. Saturday, I went to dinner with my girls, Grace and Alexis, to Mediterranean Grill. The food is amazing, and we went to celebrate my girlfriend Betsy's birthday, as we do every year. She would have been 60 this year. And then Saturday night, I went to Coaster's Tavern for my beautiful friend Jen Lantini, who celebrated 25 years of having her heart surgery. There she is, that beautiful girl. 25 years ago, she got a new heart from a donor, and we had sang, there was karaoke, and there was just so much love in that room, and I love you, Jen, and we'll be celebrating for the next 25. I am just so thrilled that I was there and part of it. And then Sunday, Rescuing Families had their Restoring Barbecue in Franklin Square, and I am so thrilled. Vinny and Gina do such a beautiful job. It's a nonprofit. There it is. We were outside. They had a band. Thank God the weather cooperated because there were too many people to put inside the VFW hall. But a lot of money was raised, and their nonprofit goes for people with disabilities who need home renovations. So I had a wonderful time. I'm so happy that I was part of that too. So you know what? It's starting to feel a little normal, people. You know, actually doing something on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Wild. So listen, let me get to my guest because you know my show goes fast. He is a very funny man who I met in the early 90s at Jimmy's Comedy Alley in Bayside. He's an actor. He's a comedian. He's been in this business over 40 years, even though he's like 50.
Yeah.
Joey Kola!
Hi.
Oh, it's so lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
in
It's good to
person.
be here with you.
Yes.
You're such a good person. You're always doing charity work, and you're like everybody's cousin, sister, friend. Oh, yeah, listen, I was at a thing, and we made a thing for the guy, and the lady with the thing, with the heart, with the tent, and the thing with the bands, and they were all had. We raised a lot of money, and it was such a pisser. It was such a pisser. I love you. I love you.
I love you too.
You're everybody I ever grew up with. You really are. all into one.
I know. It's like we're like long lost cousins. Or
We are.
something,
We are.
You know?
Yeah, we're like that. We always have
from
fun
a
with
big
it together.
Italian crazy
Yeah.
family, and you yourself are involved in like 30 different charities.
Bunch of different charities. You know, you got to give back. You got to give back. And I'm not one of these show business. I didn't get into show business to be. I mean, everybody takes a shot at stardom, I guess, here and there to try to get a sitcom or a movie or be who they thought they could be, like in their 20s and 30s or teens or whatever.
Right.
But then you get to a point where you realize. I mean, and I got to this point a while ago, where you realize who you really are, what you can realistically accomplish,
Yes.
and what your goals are. And I surpassed all my goals years ago. Like, I only wanted to be a good husband, good father, and I wanted to make people laugh at a club level.
Yes.
You know, 200 seats, low ceilings, a mic and a light. And if I can make some money doing that and pay my bills, then I'm fine. I wasn't insatiable.
Yeah.
I wasn't where I want to be a millionaire and I want to
Right.
move to Hollywood and do
Yeah.
this and do that. I mean, I had some opportunities for that situation to pop up. It didn't happen for me, and I came to grips with the fact that it just didn't happen for me.
Right,
You know,
right.
so I'm going to enjoy whatever God gave me, whatever little time I have on the
That's how I
planet.
feel. Yep.
And that's it. That's all you can really
That's
do. I
it.
mean, what
So,
else is there?
I mean, you know, that's all there is to do. Listen, you and I have had many experiences in life that keep us humble and,
That's right.
and in check.
That's right.
And,
Yep.
and that's why we are who we are, and
That's
we
right.
do what we do.
Health things, car accidents, brain tumors, when you have near-death experiences,
Yeah.
it levels you.
Oh, yeah.
And you come out of that hamster spinning on the wheel thing. I'm gonna this, and I'm gonna me, and I'm gonna, and you get enlightened. I want to use the word enlightened.
Yes.
You become enlightened to what really means things in life.
It's true.
And you begin to dissect,
It's true.
dissect what people are saying.
Yeah.
People, because you can learn from everybody. You can learn from someone who's homeless. You can learn from, a billionaire, because it doesn't matter. The money doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's the knowledge and experience you have on this planet that you could bestow on other people,
Yeah.
and hopefully it helps you along with your journey.
It's
you know.
true. It's so true. So listen, Joey's originally from Brooklyn. Because for those, I did have Joey on last April, and we said hopefully we could do this again in person, and I'm
Yeah.
so glad he's here to talk about it. He's originally from Brooklyn, moved to Bayshore when you were like a year old.
Yeah, my mother was from Williamsburg, North 6th Street between Driggs and Roebling. My father was from Maspeth, Ridgewood, Maspeth. So they met on Metropolitan Avenue and had a dance, and then they got married. We were the first family to move to Long Island from the city.
Right.
But we were in the city every weekend playing stoop ball and roller hockey with the metal wheels and everything, you know.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to come out from to Long Island, because it was for my relatives to come out to Long Island, it would be like someone thinking they were going to like Pennsylvania.
I know, like
you
it's
know?
so far away.
They'd pack food and stuff, and then my grandmother would get to my house and pick the dandelions and make a salad, and we'd go in the Great South Bay and go clamming and fishing, and we didn't even know. It was like you used to go flounder fishing or fluke fishing or whatever. Whatever we pulled out of the Great South Bay, they'd put garlic and oil with and eat.
That's
Whether it was
it.
eels, stuff we couldn't identify. It was
Right.
a fish. You filleted it, you put it with
Yeah.
garlic and oil and eat it. That
That's
was
it.
Yeah.
Garlic and oil on everything.
Clams and nowadays people eat clams. They just eat the little necks or the cherry stones.
yeah.
I had relatives. My Uncle Frank would put a bottle of hot sauce in his back pocket while he was in the Great South Bay with a knife.
I love
He'd
it.
open up chowder clams, the biggest ones,
Wow.
put some hot sauce on, and eat them right in the salt water, and then throw the shell. So if you ever go in Clare and you found empty shells, my Uncle Frank was
God.
there.
That is hysterical. Well,
Yeah.
we're both in Belmore now. We're neighbors.
yeah.
And like I said, we met many years ago at Jimmy's Comedy
Jimmy's Comedy Alley on
And
Bell Boulevard.
on
What
Bell,
a great
Bell.
place.
Yeah, that was my
yeah.
that was my home. You know, I
Right.
lived blocks away. I walked there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that was like my.
That was back in the heydays,
My
in the 80s and
go-to.
early 90s, when
Yeah.
there was anywhere between 8 and 14 full-time A clubs from, and I'm not even talking about the city, I'm talking about
Long
from
Island.
Brooklyn, Queens, all the way to
we talked
Montauk.
about this. We talked about
Yeah.
Grandpa's,
Yeah.
Hips, Kankama Comedy Club. I mean,
Yep,
it
there
just,
was
the list
Laughs
goes
in East
on.
Quad.
Yes.
Laughs, Tony Camacho. You know, people don't give Tony Camacho enough credit. This guy, Tony Camacho, used to book a lot of rooms. Him, Rick Messina, who now manages Drew Carey and Tim Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Camacho helped him and managed a lot of great acts. And there's a great, there's great talent bookers. I was with Jeff Sustin for many years. Rory Rose Garden.
Yes.
Omnipop, which is Tom and Gigno and Bruce Smith out in L.A.
I worked for Omnipop for a blink of a second.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I studied with Joan St.
Joan St. Ange, yeah,
I studied
yeah,
with her,
yeah.
and then she got me a gig at the Laughing Bean in Red Bank, New Jersey.
Okay.
I emceed for the weekend.
Oh, nice. You remember that. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
There's some things I do remember,
Yeah,
Joey.
I know, me too. But there's so many great talent bookers. We got Linda Rowe, and now you got the guys that run Governors. Jimmy and everybody there, and John Schuster is there, and Andrea's there, and the greatest people that really support what we do. They support the comedy scene.
Yes.
Not just individual comics, and they befriend individual comics, especially like we're going to talk about when we need to come out for each other. Like we're going to come out and do this Bob Nelson benefit on July 22nd, and this other benefit we're going to do for John Ziegler who has cancer. Now we're going to do August 12th. We're doing that for him. But it keeps our comedian it keeps our comedy community strong. And when people say when you say that about a geographic area, a comedy community, right away they think the comedians, but it's not just the comedians. It's the people at book. It's the waitresses. It's the people that are there during the day.
Yeah.
It's Nutman who cleans up the clubs at night. We call him Nutman.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving parts to keep not only a comedy club going, but a comedy industry going.
Yeah.
There's a competition, but there's also an industry that is dedicated to making people laugh.
Yes.
People need to, at first I was like, people go, oh, thanks, you go to some places and shows and they thank you. Thanks for making me laugh. Thanks for taking my mind off cancer. Thanks for taking my mind off somebody who died. Thanks for doing that. And I realized, wow, they're thanking me. I should be thanking them. They were in the audience.
Yeah.
But I'm only starting to realize what a service it is. You really do help people in their lives by making them laugh, just taking their minds off something for a little while,
true.
bringing them into your world, making them laugh hard, and then setting them right back down, because I need that.
We all do.
So comedians watch comedy as much as anybody else does,
Yeah.
So
It's true. It's so true. Listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break because we need to hear from my sponsor. But don't go away. More when I come back.
this is
with
a good
Joey
sponsor
Kola.
too. Listen up. Listen up.
1331 Mediterranean Grill is located at 1906 Newbridge Road in Belmore, specializing in traditional Greek cuisine. Oppa! You can dine in, take out, and they deliver. They also cater for all occasions, and they have outdoor seating. Give them a call at 516-804-6197. Check them out on Facebook and go to their website, 1331 Mediterranean Grill. Kristen Tinsley is the Divine Comedian, tarot reads, and spiritual medium. Please subscribe to her YouTube channel, The Divine Comedian. That's D-I-V-I-N-E, Comedian, F-E-M-E-D-I-A-N. Check it out and let her tell you what your future holds.
Well, hi there, Teresa. It's John York from General Hospital. I am just checking in because apparently you have a great talk show called Tea Time on Strong Island TV. I want you to have continued great success and have a lot of fun. It sounds like you're having a lot of fun, and that's pretty much the key to everything, isn't it? So continued success. I'm proud of you. Have a great day, Teresa. Bye.
All right, I'm gonna have the chicken gyro, chicken souvlaki. I want this. I want some dessert. I want galactoporico. That's what I want. The creamy with the Oh my God!
that sounds
Feta
good.
cheese. I want the stuffed grape leaves. I want it all. 1331 Mediterranean Grill, Newbridge Road.
That's it.
I can go there on the way home.
And they
so.
deliver. They deliver.
And they
cater.
deliver. They deliver.
They cater. So listen, I'm with Joey Kola. He is a funny friend.
One thing I wanted to say just before we get started, I know you got some notes there, but I want
Yes.
to talk about Peter Bales and I
last week I had on
last
Peter.
week Peter Bales
Yes.
was on. He talked about his experiences with Rosie O'Donnell.
Yes.
And I know Rosie from the clubs also.
He kissed her.
And
He
that's what I wanted to
laid
tell
one
you.
on her.
That's what I know her from the clubs, and I worked on her show.
Yes.
And I wanted to tell you something. The story that Pete told was that he was in her driveway,
Right.
and he leaned over and he kissed her on the lips, and she
Yeah.
said to him, I think I'm going to go in a different direction. Well, I got a story about Peter.
Okay.
We were in my driveway,
Yeah.
and Peter leaned over and kissed me on the lips. And at that point, I said, Peter, I think I'm going to go in a different direction. And it broke his heart. I know it did. But we're still friends today. He's actually helping me.
Let's give some shout outs. Maria, your beautiful daughter
daughter,
is
yes.
watching. Hi,
Hello.
Maria. And
Hi, pal.
Bruno and Denise, thank you everyone for watching. Please like and share the show.
Bruno, is that Bruno?
Kola.
He just tried to friend me on Facebook. I friended him.
He is,
But it didn't go through. I got to clear up. Bruno, I got to clear some people out, and I got to put you on there.
He's a doll, and he really supports everybody in this crazy industry, which is a beautiful thing. So listen, Joey has been working comedy for over 40 years, and actually, you really started. You went to school at CW Post, correct?
Yeah,
And
I
you were
went
working-
to Suffolk Community College,
Yeah, you went to a
CW
few.
Post. I graduated, and I spent the semester up in Brockport. I froze my ass off and came back down
then
to
you came
Long
back.
Island. Yeah.
And then we talked about how you were working for an Italian bread company, right?
Yeah,
Italian
Augie's
bread
Italian bread
factory.
company. Yeah.
And how then you decided to go to East Side, right? East Side was your first place
Yeah,
on
well, no,
stage.
I went on at Dixon's a couple
did?
times. My
Okay.
friends went. I only went on once. I didn't do well, but I sat back and I watched people like Bob Nelson and Dave Hawthorne and Richie Minervini and stuff
Yeah.
at Dixon's and Richard M. Dixon.
Right.
My friend John Bizarre, Steve O, Bill Freiberg, all the contemporary names at that
Yeah, yeah,
point.
yeah.
And then Richie opened up his club at the original East Side Comedy Club.
Yes.
And I started out there, and I was working at the Italian bread factory, and I was only making $60 a week because I was going to college and stuff, and the minimum wage was like $3.65 an hour. So I went on an audition night at East Side Comedy Club in Huntington, and I did pretty well. And I came off stage, and Richie Minervini goes, "Hey man, you did a pretty good set. Here's $20. You want to come back and do it?" And I said, $20? I make $60 the whole week. At a factory, and you handed 20 minutes for talking for $20 for talking for 5 minutes.
Right.
I said, sure, I'll be back. And then Richie nurtured my career, that part of my career, and then I had some tragedy in my career, and then he helped me come out of that.
Yeah.
And then Richie Minervini is one
Well,
of
he's
the people
coming on
I
next
credit.
week.
He is really?
Yes, he is.
Oh,
He's
he's the
coming on next
greatest.
week. I have him booked. Like I said, he's like your fairy godfather.
He's
said.
my mentor. One of
Yeah.
my great mentors. Him and my uncle Ralph.
Yeah.
He lives in New Jersey now, and he played guitar at all the family parties.
Yeah.
So when we were younger, 4 years old, he'd hand me a mic, tell jokes, sing a song. Not only me, my cousins and my brother and everybody, and that's
Yeah.
how I really learned. Because I saw my parents singing and telling jokes, and my Uncle Angelo, and all
Right.
my relatives have got involved. My cousin plays guitar now because
Nice.
of my Uncle Ralph. Well, God bless my Uncle Ralph, and God bless Richie Minervini.
Really. Yeah. So I'm excited to have him on next week. And so let's talk about your career, because your career is amazing. Coming up, like you mentioned, sitcom, whatever, in the early 90s when I was Teresa Manzo back then,
Right.
I figured, okay, I'm going to either land a sitcom, because your top five were
Right.
Ray, Rosie, Ellen, Tim. I mean, right? They were those were all.
Yeah, yeah, they were- yeah, at
They
that
all
point-
started in stand up, right?
Yep.
Or
I go as far back as remembering Freddie Prinze and Chico
Oh,
the Man.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
Freddie
yeah,
Prinze.
yeah.
Freddie Prinze, to me, I used to watch him and go, I want to be like that guy.
Yeah.
And then I saw him do an HBO special where he did that thing about when men pee, they try to hit the side of the wall to
As long as they hit something.
Yeah. So to be quiet. But Freddie Prinze was monumental. Robert Klein's special back in the day.
yeah.
Carlin doing specials. But the sitcom was like, that was the thing. You get seen at a club, you
Sitcom-
audition for a
yeah,
thing and do a
sitcom
sitcom.
or SNL.
Yeah, or you
That
do a
was- yeah.
movie role or something like that. Yeah.
But you actually, your comedy took you to, listen, you've performed all over the place, okay, including cruise ships, which we talked
Cruise
about.
ships,
You did cruise ships
Europe,
from, like,
Canada.
Yeah.
I've been
You've
everywhere.
been all
I've
over,
done
all
almost
over.
all the states in the country.
all
yeah.
over,
Yeah.
all over. And then you land, no, actually, let's go back a little bit. You actually did your own comedy, was a comedy show in Bayshore, right?
Yeah, it was Mowbray Street Cafe, Comedy by the Bay.
Yes.
And my friend, it was Group W Cable, where my friend Tony Luizio went to high school with, the class of '79, Ice Up High School. Tony worked for Lou Schofberg, and my seat is rolling. I'm slowly like just rolling into you. I can't, I'm on an angle here. I'm on like an angle here in Massapequa. Watch, I start here. Anyway, I did a show.
Come a little closer.
I did a show, and what happened was, I'm going to be behind you in a second. They had Group W Cable. Cable just started on Long Island.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
So this guy, Lou Schofberg, knew my friend Tony, and the office was in a strip mall over where Gimbel's used to be. It's in Bayshore now, across from where Ground Round used to be. They did this Stop and Shop there now, across from a Northwell place. Anyway, that's where the building was.
Right.
So Tony worked there for this guy, Lou Schofberg. So Tony calls me and goes, guess what, man? We're going to have tons of programming, and I got an idea for a show. I said, like what? Like Evening at the Improv, a comedy show? I said, what kind of programming you got now?
Right.
And they had all this time and no programming. They had like two guys sitting in lawn chairs talking about how many bushels, fishermen, how many bluefish they caught that day, how many bushels of like little neck clams, and we had a bunch of bushels of chowder clams. Oh yeah, well we got 3 bushels of blue claw crabs, and like, how long could you watch that for?
You can't.
So he says, why don't we do a comedy show, but we'll do it remote. We'll go to Mowbray Street Cafe in Bayshore.
Right.
And I warmed it up, I wrote it, I hosted it, and we shot it like a real TV show. We did about 12 episodes. Rich Jenny was on it, Jackie Martling was on it, a young Adam Sandler came in one night.
Yes.
And said to me, he was like 15 years old. Hey, Mr. Kola, can you put me on?
15?
Yeah, because I think his grandmother lived in Bayshore, and he floated over to the club.
Okay.
Now where that club was is now a park.
Okay.
It was on the south side of Main Street in Bayshore, and they built a park there now. It's all gone. I think it might have been gone from fire or something. But yeah, I hosted my own show back then.
That's
it went out to
amazing.
120,000 homes on Long Island. Yeah,
and that's not too shabby for back then. Think about it.
Yeah,
you were a pioneer.
I was a pioneer. I got a little door deal from the club, made a little something,
why not?
Yeah, and I got to get some, got to eat some oysters and clams if I wanted to.
So you're doing the cruise ships. You come off the cruise ships, and then tell me how you landed the gig to be the warm-up comic for the Jon Stewart show.
Well, okay, so I was doing
How did that happen?
I was doing clubs at the time, and then a bunch of my friends wound up doing some cruise ships.
Okay.
And I did the couple of the cruise ships, but then if you do well on a cruise ship, they want you to stay 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And it was way back then. It was 28, 29 years ago. Now there's 14, 15 decks on these ships.
Right.
I did the Big Red Boat. It was 3 ships. And the biggest one was 4 decks. And there was drugs were rampant on there. And I almost had a nervous breakdown because I was on for a month. Then I had to come home for a day.
Right.
And then I had to go to Milwaukee to do 4 shows at the Comedy Cafe. So I was home for a day, beautiful sunny day. I've got a clip in my azaleas.
The Clipper story.
Yeah, did I tell you about this yet?
Yeah, but go ahead.
Did. Anyway, my wife comes out and says, you go to Dairy Barn and get some milk. I said, what else do you want from me? I had like a breakdown. She goes, okay, put the hedge clippers down, and we're going to make
Back
money.
away from the bush.
We're going to make money on land now.
Right.
So then, and ironically, this is how God works in your life. I said, okay, we're going to be off the cruise ships. I'm going to have to go on the road, and my kids are little.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to go on the road, but I had to. That's where the money was. And at that point, I did 4 Caroline's Comedy Hours, 4 Evening at the Improvs, Showtime Comedy Club Network, A&E's Comedy All-Stars. I was doing all those cable shows, so I got some heat.
Yeah.
So people knew who I was. So when I went on the road, and then Bud Friedman had a big comedy convention at the Riviera in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I went out there and did that, and all the club owners and cruise ships people were there.
Right.
So that worked out for getting me more work on the road. But I didn't really want to go on the road much. So this guy, Barry Segunda, who was a friend with my manager, and his sister was Ruth Ann Segunda, who was my agent at either Abrams or J. Michael Bloom. I forget which agency I had at that point. Then I moved on to William Martin's agency. So Ruth Ann Segunda knew me and said, "Oh, my brother is Barry Segunda. He manages Jon Stewart. Does the Jon Stewart show."
Yeah.
And I knew John from the clubs. Used to do Catch a Rising Star and the Improv and all the city clubs together. Except the comic strip. That was the only one I never did. And that's a whole nother story. But we knew each other from the city clubs.
Okay.
So I guess Barry Segunda said, you know this guy Joey Kola? And John said, oh, yeah. So John said, oh, let him come over and warm up my show.
Okay.
So I warmed up. He had a variety show.
Yes.
It wasn't the...
No.
It wasn't the political show that he had on HBO. It wasn't that one. It was it was a variety show.
Right.
So I did that show for about a year and a half, I think it was, which ironically is in the same building I'm doing Rachel now. And it was upstairs like where Wendy Williams shoots now.
Right.
But this was 29 years ago.
Yeah.
So I did that for Jon Stewart.
Right. And
it worked out pretty well. And then that show ended and I was off for a little while and I started doing the road and clubs again. And then June 10th of 1996, Rosie O'Donnell went on the air.
Didn't you do Letterman for a little stint?
No, I used to fill in for Eddie Brill at Letterman every once in a while, but I only when Eddie needed me. Only when Eddie needed me, I did Letterman, and I did a spot on Letterman because on June 13th, 1996.
Yes, I have that date.
Yeah, that's when I did my Letterman spot. And as I walked out of the Ed Sullivan Theater, I was with my manager, Jeff Sussman, at the time. He had the big cell phone. The phone rang, and it was Daniel Kellison and Rosie O'Donnell. And they said, can you come over and warm up the show? I said, I thought you had to warm up. And they said, oh, no, we went through a few people, and they don't want to do it. They're writers, but can you come over and do it?
Right.
And Rosie knew me from the clubs. I said, Rosie, what do you want? Is this going to be a Sally Jesse Raphael or a Geraldo Rivera at the time, the people throwing chairs at each other like Jerry Springer?
Yeah.
She said, no, it's going to be very Mike Douglas, very Merv Griffin. It's going to be interviews. We're going to have fun. There's going to be Broadway shows.
Nice.
And I want you to run the room like a fun night at a comedy club. There's going to be koosh balls. We're going to give stuff away. We're going to be generous, and we want the audience at home and in the studio to have a blast. And I said, I'm up for that because that's where I came from.
Yeah.
Well, my Uncle Ralph at the parties years ago.
Yeah.
It was all about fun and
Right.
it was nothing but fun. There was no
Yeah.
bad news. Even though other bad things were going on, you never really knew it because whether it was through the drinking that took place or the food or the hugs and the kisses and the dancing and the love, there was always a lot of dancing. All the bad stuff was kind of put over there. We knew it was there, but we really didn't address it like people address bad things now.
Yeah.
Now it becomes the focus. Now it becomes depression, anxiety, because you're focused on it.
Right.
We were able to look at the bad, say, okay, that's what that is,
Right.
but now I'm going to choose
Yeah.
to go this way
Right.
and enjoy. And then I surrounded myself at the comedy clubs with other comedians like that. John Bizarre, Steve-O, John Weiss, David Feynman, Bill Freiberger, my generation, Hal Spear. And you might not even know these names.
Right,
You probably will never
right.
know them.
Yeah,
Half of them are gone or out of the business or dead. But
yeah.
these, the comedians that influenced me most then and now are not famous comedians. Like people go, who's your favorite? Eddie Murphy or Maniscalco or this one. They're great comedians, but they're not the ones who make me laugh.
Right.
I mean, there's a great comedian. His name is Steve Morrison. He's on that show. He's on the most popular radio show in Philadelphia right now.
Okay.
It's Preston and Steve. It's called. They got a 26 share of the market. They have big celebrities on. Steve is like it's Preston and Steve.
Right.
He started out on Long Island. I was in an improv group with him. To this day, he's one of the funniest human beings I've ever met, ever in my life, ever. When I talk to him and I see him on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, he continues to make me laugh. And he's not a big star,
Right.
Yet I've worked with people that are bigger stars like Kevin James and Rosie and some other ones that became bigger.
Right.
But it's a roll of the dice.
It's a crapshoot. It is. We know this.
He's got your path.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes your path isn't what you would want it to
Correct.
be.
It's not what we planned for.
Yeah.
It's what he plans for.
It's what he plans for.
Listen, we're just passengers.
He heard everything.
He's holding the wheel.
We're here for a half hour and we're gone. So you got to get your soul right. So when you move on to the next thing, and most people are too focused on money and other little things. That's why
and we say health is the most important thing.
Well, while you're here, but then when your health goes by the wayside, your soul is the most important thing because nobody gets out alive. Nobody.
I know.
So when we're gone, you have to make sure your soul is going to be okay to go into whatever's going to happen next.
Yeah.
That's why I simplify my life. I'm a very simple guy. I raise butterflies. I raise plant
I know,
plants.
you're monarch
I feed
butterflies.
birds, and I want to make people laugh, and I
Yeah.
want to make the people in my life laugh, and
Yeah.
my wife, my kids. Like when they're not happy, it kills me
Yeah.
because I'm very codependent. I'm very like if you right now were to have like something in your throat and go like right, I don't want to get you a glass of water right away or a lozenge or something, you know.
Right, yeah.
So being codependent in that way,
Yeah.
that's why I do a lot of charity work. I
Right,
I want to see
yeah.
the world. That's why this big fight happened the other night. Conor McGregor and the other guy had a big fight. Oh my God, this MMA and this fighting and the violence and the guns and the things. You know what? I have a temper too, and I get angry, and I sometimes I go, I like to hit that guy with a bat, or I like to. I don't really mean that. Like
No.
I want harmony. I want a
Right.
Disney. I want life to be a Disney movie.
Right. Wouldn't that be
You know what I
lovely?
mean? There's always tragedy in every Disney
Yes,
movie. There
that's
always
true.
is.
Yeah.
But I want harmony. I want, because ultimately, if you can find harmony within your own soul, then you could pass that on to others while we're here.
Yeah.
Even if it's for a little while. We're not. That's not going to happen. It's an unrealistic goal.
Yeah.
I mean, to think that everybody's going to get along on a planet is just absurd.
Yeah, I
But if
know.
you could share a little bit
Yeah.
for somebody for a
Yeah.
little while.
Yeah.
It really is an amazing thing, That's why I watch a lot of cartoons and Christmas specials,
You know, I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
like little things like the Grinch made,
I know.
His heart grew 3 sizes that day. He had and when it did, he had the strength of 10 Grinches
Yes.
plus 2.
Yes.
12 Grinches he had the strength of.
Jeez. Oh my God. So so you went to John, you filled in a little bit for Eddie at Letterman. You were with Rosie 6 years.
Rosie 6 years, then
and
Martha
then
Stewart
Martha
for
Stewart for
7 years,
and
yes.
then Rachel Ray, you're going
Which
on what? 10
I'm
or
going
11?
I'm going on my 11th, but her 16th.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got to Martha because Rob Dauber, another good friend, a Facebook buddy, a great producer, he executive produced Martha
Right.
and brought me over. He was from Rosie.
Right.
And one thing about Rosie is people don't know that her show was a pioneer. She made the track, the RoboCam that went around the top.
Yep.
She said put a curtain in so we could do Broadway
Yep.
shows. She was the first one to put stuff under your seat and give away food under your seat too. So when everybody goes, Oprah, you get a car and you get a car, that was stolen from Rosie.
Yeah.
Rosie was the first one to go, look under your seats, you all got computers. Look under your seats, you all got clothes. You all
Right,
got this, you
right.
got that.
Yeah.
She started that
Yeah.
because Rosie O'Donnell's ratings rivaled Oprah's. Oprah was doing 7s, we were doing 7s.
Yeah, yeah.
So whenever you see anybody, Ellen or any other show giving stuff away, Rosie's the one who figured that
Absolutely.
out. And that came from the generosity of her heart.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you this before, but the one Rosie story that I tell, and I hop on Rosie only because she is such a powerful force in many people's lives of positivity.
Yes.
Without her influence on me, I wouldn't be doing the charity work I do. And the quick story is, I get in early at 30 Rock. She's Duta Shangada, and I look at her and I go, Rosie,
You're a wreck.
I go, were you up all night with all your Broadway friends at Joe Allen? She goes, no, I couldn't sleep, so I went to Sloan Kettering and wrote checks. I went to Sloan and wrote checks.
Yeah.
She couldn't sleep, so she'd go into Sloan, go in the waiting rooms, and she doesn't say this. She doesn't
Because
say
a lot
this
of people
about herself.
don't know what other people do.
She'd write
you know?
10 grand, 20 grand to families and people that needed that money.
Right.
That's the Rosie O'Donnell I know.
Yeah.
So if you want to get political and say, oh, Rosie said this, and I don't like Rosie because of that. And do you know Rosie?
Well, that's the whole thing.
like-
I get upset too when when people do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, unless you know the person personally
Right.
and have a personal relationship
Right.
with them, you can't
Right.
say anything bad about them.
unless you've met them or they've done
Unless
something.
you had a bad experience with them. Seriously,
met,
come on.
or if indirectly, even having not met them, they affected your life somehow in a positive or negative way.
Right.
All I could do is speak on my experience with
right,
Rosie,
right.
and what I could tell is that it was
It
most
was
one of the
wonderful
most
and
positive and learning experiences that I've ever had in my life. Which is why, do we have to go for a break?
Well, I was going to let you finish.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm like.
No, you and I, we're like, once you wind us up.
Because I want
we
to
don't
talk about
stop.
Bob Nelson
I know,
too.
we're going to talk
because-
about Bob Nelson. But real quick, all right, before we go to break, I just want to mention that you also
Thank you for doing these notes, by the way.
Oh, no
I
problem.
show up for interviews sometimes and people go,
Kevin
so you're a
James,
comedian?
Kevin James Show, the crew. Okay?
Right.
All right, NASCAR Pit Crew. It's about that. You also did Kevin
Can Wait. Yeah, that was Kevin's
Also,
first show, and then
yes.
that went off the air, and then he did another one for Netflix called The Crew. We did that,
Yes.
which went right into COVID, and then
Right.
after COVID, it aired last summer, the end of last summer.
Yeah.
We did 10 episodes, and
Right.
I don't think it got picked up, but
Okay.
but yeah, I've done a couple of sitcoms with Kevin, and another great experience.
And now you're doing Hello, Drew Barrymore.
Well, I'm going to start with Drew
Can
Barrymore.
we talk about that? How exciting is that?
Yeah, we're going to start. Well,
Come on.
Rachel Ray is my
You
first.
are the warm-up comic king, my friend.
Well, yeah, I'm lucky. I'm just thankful for the gifts that are bestowed on me.
Yes,
You know, that's what I
yes.
am. It's a gift.
Yeah,
Everything's a gift.
Yep.
You know, everything's a gift.
Yeah.
And so it was your children are a gift. Everything's a gift.
Yeah, it's true.
Your shirt's a gift. Everything's a gift.
Yeah.
Because you don't know where you could be.
And that post that you wrote the other day,
Which one?
I swear to God, the one about how grateful you are. Because I think about this every day. The first thing
Right.
I wake up in the morning, I say, thank you, God, for giving me another day.
Oh, what I wrote about that.
Yes,
Thankful.
about your eyesight, about your hearing, about
Being
you're
able to stand
walk,
and
you're
sit,
able to.
yeah.
We take so many things for granted in our
right,
lifetime,
right.
but you and I feel the same way every day.
Yeah, you gotta. Well, we've been there.
Yeah.
We've been there. I mean,
know.
there's been times in my life where I go, man, if I could just get off the bowl, you know what I mean? So I could sit on the bowl and my legs are numb, and I hurt my back. So if I could just get up off this bowl today, you know. But people don't. They're so caught up. You know, it's like dangling keys in front of a baby. You know, people are like walking around, where's my next? What am I going to do with my life?
Right,
Where am I going to work?
right,
And what am
yeah.
I going to do? How much money
Yeah,
am I going to make?
yeah.
And who's going to do that? Where can I be? Meanwhile, they don't, right? They don't lean back and they just go like this.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't meditate. I daydream, I think. And I daydream about
I think I do the same thing.
what could be.
Because I can't get out of my head.
And the forces that are working around us, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
That's what you got to come out of your head. That's the thing. You got to come out of your head,
Yeah.
and you got to let yourself go. And you know, one of the best things that my wife and I do, we sit in the backyard in the lounge chair, and we look up, and we just watch the stars.
Yeah.
And we're quiet, and we're just watching the stars. You know, it's one of the greatest things.
Isn't it
we
great?
just got to do it in Newport, Rhode Island together.
I love that.
And we've done it all over the world together. And you know, in Hawaii and in Italy and
Yeah.
just to be able to, you know, I'm with my wife for 41 years,
God
long
bless.
before stand-up comedy, and we're
Yeah.
married 35 this year.
Yeah.
And she is the biggest blessing I have in my life. And to have somebody. To have her,
Yeah.
not somebody, to have her,
Right, right.
to be able to share that with and look at those stars with,
Yeah.
because we've both been through together hell,
Yeah.
hell on this earth we've
Yeah,
been through
yeah.
together. Which if we don't go to commercial break, I'm going to be in trouble now.
It's nice. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go away. More when we come back.
We're going to hear more from the Mediterranean Grill. Galactoputico, gyros, and chicken souvlaki. I'll have 3 of each.
1331 Mediterranean Grill is located at 1906 Newbridge Road in Belmore, specializing in traditional Greek cuisine. Oppa! You can dine in, take out, and they deliver. They also cater for all occasions, and they have outdoor seating. Give them a call at 516-804-6197. Check them out on Facebook and go to their website, 1331 Mediterranean Grill. Val's Crafty Creations. Are you looking for something personalized? She's the one to do it. She's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. Check it out. Val's Crafty Creations. From t-shirts, stemware, houseware. She does it all for any occasion. Val's Crafty Creations.
How you doing? It's Sal the Voice Valentinetti. Why are you watching me? You should be watching Teresa Canastraci Tea Time with Teresa Canastraci Farrell. And make sure you follow Teresa on Facebook, Tea Time with Teresa Canastraci Farrell. We'll see you there.
I love the way you say my name. I love it. Hey everybody,
We're back.
welcome back to Tea Time. Thank you, Sal the Voice Valentinetti. Thank you, John York before from General Hospital, if I didn't mention that. And thank you to the 1331 Mediterranean Grill. Go see Robert. Have a delicious meal. It is
Best
fantastic.
feta cheese on the island.
Absolutely. All right, so listen, I'm here with my friend Joey Kola. He is an
Yes.
actor. He's done acting. Kevin put you in a show.
He put me in
you
a
did
couple of his
corn
episodes.
scene, a corn scene.
I was eating corn in one scene, and I ate 13 donuts for one scene.
Oh my God.
And, yeah, I've acted here and there.
Yeah,
I
he's acted, and he's a part of this comedy, this crazy comedy world that we're in, and he's been blessed to be a warm-up comic for wonderful, wonderful shows.
Yeah.
And actually, Joey's going to be at McGuire's this
Friday night. Yeah, I got one show at 8 o'clock, and it's
Yes.
selling out quicker. It was a last-minute add-on, but whenever I could be out, it's in Bohemia. I grew up in Islip, so all my Bayshore and Islip and East Islip friends come out.
Right. So
yeah.
if you're out there, get some tickets. Go see him on
gonna be
Friday
good.
night. Yeah. So in the meantime, we are going to talk about a good friend of ours. I met Bob years ago.
Yes.
And I fell in love with him when I watched his HBO special.
Yes.
And he worked a lot with Rodney, as we know,
Yep.
Dangerfield. And
Hey, all
he
right.
he actually inspired me to do my New York Lottery commercial and my Feminine Douche commercial.
In your act.
In
Yeah,
my
yeah,
act.
yeah.
I think I sent you the video.
Right, yeah,
It was
I
my
saw it.
last
Very
show. It was my
funny.
last
Yep,
show with
yep,
Dangerfield.
yep.
And it's prop comedy. Bob is that's what he does. He does
He's a
prop
master,
comedy.
yeah.
He does characters. And I want to know how you met him.
I met him years ago at the East Side Comedy Club. He was being managed by Jeff Sussman, who was also a former manager of the East Side Comedy Club. And I worked with him. I opened up with him in not only East Side, but many other shows around Long Island. And then he kind of broke, as they say. He's Johnny Carson's favorite comedian. He did
Yes.
HBO specials. He was Rodney's. He did a special for Rodney, and he became Kindergarten Cop. He became a big star. And he took me on a couple tours with him and stuff.
That's nice. It's nice to get under someone's wing like that. You
Yeah,
know what
well,
I mean?
luckily, a bunch of comics took me under their wing. Richard
Yeah,
Jenny
yeah,
did.
yeah,
Dom
yeah.
Herrera did. I worked with Bobby Collins a lot. The Dennis Wolfberg, the late great Dennis Wolfberg, I got to work with a lot. So many great comedians from the generation above mine. I was like the second generation Long Island.
Right.
But Peter Bales was a big influence on me. My friend Steve O, his name is Steve Oakes now, and Melvin George, and there's so many great comedians. Again,
I know.
they're not household names,
I
but
know.
big
But
influences.
you know
and
what's
Rob Bartlett is a huge. Him and Jackie Martling are going to be on the show.
I had them both on my show.
Yeah, it's
They were
phenomenal.
both on my show, and I can't wait. We're going to throw up the flyer. Okay, so the fundraiser for Bob, there it is. It is
There it
July 22nd. Okay, and you see
Thursday.
who's on it. Look at all these wonderful, talented
well,
people.
Jackie Martling, if you leave it up to Jackie Martling there on the left is from the
Yes.
Howard Stern show. You know
Yes,
him.
yes.
Then there's me, and there's Peter Bales, who
Yes.
single-handedly taught every comedian how to MC on the East Coast, pretty much,
Yeah.
and the most likable guy in the world. Now, Rob Bartlett is not only a Broadway star; he's with Imus for
He was
many,
with
many
Imus,
years.
yep.
But in his own right, he is a magnificent great guy, influence, and a comedic genius.
Yes.
Now, in the
Yes.
very beginning, it was a troupe, a comedy troupe. It was Bob Nelson, Eddie Murphy, and Rob Bartlett.
Yes,
They were
yes.
called the Identical Triplets.
Yes,
They worked together.
About that.
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
pictures of them working together and
Yeah,
stuff at the
yeah.
East Side Comedy Club
Yeah.
and other places around Long Island.
And there's
Then
Richie.
There's Richie Minervini, who owned the East Side Comedy Club, and like the godfather of Long Island comedy, and
Right.
always will be. He does cruise ships, he does theaters, he's
Yep.
all over the place. Brad Lowry, who was and Vinnie Marca next to each other.
Yes.
Them along with me with Bob's opening acts back in the day until we all started doing colleges back then.
Yeah.
And then John Mulrooney was the host of Comic Strip Live down in the bottom corner there.
Right.
He was the host of Comic Strip Live on Fox.
Yeah.
And he was not only the host of that, but he did many, many shows. He was a
Right.
national touring
Right.
comedian. He also tours and does with the
Yes.
cruise ships.
Yeah.
So
John's been around a long time.
Yeah, and John Mulrooney is from Brooklyn originally. He was with Pips and Jimmy's Comedy Alley and all of those
Yeah,
clubs.
yeah.
And John, a very, very, very strong MC also.
Yeah.
So everybody you see on that bill, We wish we can get 20 or 30 more on there.
I'm sure.
That we started out with.
Yeah.
But a lot of them moved away, and they're not in the business anymore or whatever. But we're gonna try to when cancer strikes, you don't know who it's going to strike and how bad it's going to get.
Yeah.
And we don't even know, in the comedy community on Long Island, sometimes it doesn't even, the name of the person doesn't have to matter, or the type of affliction they have.
Yep.
All we know is that they're hurting. We're doing
Right.
another benefit for
Right.
John Ziegler
Yes.
on August 12th.
Yes.
And I'm going to MC that show, and Colin Quinn is doing that one. But
And is that a Governor's also?
Governors on a
Okay.
Thursday also,
Okay.
yes.
Writing that down.
But for Bob Nelson from, you might know him, I did the shoulder pads. I'm
shoulder
Pepe
pads,
Loetti, I kicked
yeah.
the ball. And he did,
Jiffy Jeff's Jim.
Yeah, Jiffy, hello, I'm Jiffy Jeff, hello. And Epi Epperman, excellent dude. He does Epi Epperman. He does the football thing. He does Jiffy Jeff.
Google him. Just
He's
Google
just
him
Google
and
Bob
watch,
Nelson.
and watch how brilliant he is.
When in his time back when in the day, I want to say,
back in the
there
day.
was nobody funnier. Nobody.
It's true.
He had the heat of Gaffigan, Sebastian Maniscalco, any of these comedians combined.
Yes.
Combined, and he would travel the whole country and just sell out big venues.
Yeah.
Dice was very big. Dice was the first one to do arenas.
Yep.
He came from Pips also and
Yes.
started to do the clubs. Matter of fact, I was on a show one time where Bartlett was headlining, Dice was middling, and I was emceeing. Way back in the early
Wow.
'80s. Yeah, I was on a show at Governor's where I emceed. Rosie was the middle, and Leno was the closer.
Holy cannoli.
Yeah, I still got the
Wow.
newspaper ad. So
That's great.
But Rodney saw Nelson's talent and nurtured that and gave him a special. Johnny Carson hosted a Tonight Show for many years.
loved Bob.
Loved Bob Nelson. So Bob is still here.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's fighting this thing.
Yes.
And we, as a Long Island comedy community, again, not only the comedians, but the owners, the bookers, the wait staff, everybody who was affected by him,
Yes.
who knew him. And let me just say right to the camera, if Bob Nelson ever made you laugh, or any of the comedians on the bill ever made you laugh, there's a lot of work and a lot of heartache, and we give a lot of blood to make that happen. I don't want any sympathy. I chose this, and whatever was going to happen happened, and I'm happy with my life. But when a comedian needs help, we come out and rally, and we're
Yes.
hoping that a lot of Long Island audience members will do that with us
Yeah,
on that
yeah.
day, July 22nd.
I got my tickets. I bought
Yeah.
a bunch of tickets.
It's going to be we're calling the show To Bob with Love.
Yes.
So, and there are comedians on the show. George Gallo is a phenomenal comedian. Phenomenal. He's involved. And, there are comedians that are on different ends of the political spectrum.
Right.
There are comedians that have had arguments over the years.
Yeah.
There are comedians that moved away and didn't see and never had a relationship, blah, 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 blah. That's all gone. Now it's just, boom, the firemen ran into the towers.
Yes.
That's what we're doing as comedians.
Absolutely.
We're running into those towers
Yeah,
right now
yeah.
to help a buddy of ours that needs help. And then we're going to do it for John Ziegler on August 12th. And then we're going to do it for blah, blah, blah on November 2nd. And then we're going to do it for in December.
Whoever
And then
needs
we're going to
it.
do it.
Whoever needs
And
it.
eventually it'll be my turn. And whoever needs it. It doesn't have to be a comedian.
Right.
It could be, I've helped countless, not that I want to put a feather in my cap, but comedians and comedy shows in general have helped countless causes.
Right.
John LaRocchia, I sat right in
Yes.
at this desk
Yep, Laughter Saves Lives.
Yeah, promoting the Laughter Save Lives, helping kids with juvenile diabetes and all of
Right,
it. So,
right.
so you know what? We're only here for a little while.
That's it.
And
It's
and,
quick.
you get in, you try to help as many people as possible because, and I don't want to get too preachy here, but, in the teachings of Christ, he says, he who does for the least of my brethren, he does it for me. And he didn't come with a feather. He came with a sword to try to save people's lives and save their souls.
Yeah.
So if you could physically help somebody and make their life
Absolutely.
better and help their soul,
Absolutely.
if you don't believe in God, that's fine too. You'll get to it somehow. If you don't get to it, that's not on me. That's on him.
We all know
So-
someone. We all know someone who was affected by cancer. We all know someone who either is struggling now with it, who's passed from it.
Right.
We've all been touched
Yeah.
by cancer
Yeah.
in one way or another. And again, that's another form of giving back. And coming to support a great person for a cause. And if you are free on July 22nd, it's a Thursday night, please go to govs.com.
And it's Governor's in Levittown, off of Division Avenue. It's right behind the new IHOP.
Right.
You can get pancakes.
Right by Tri-County.
Listen, you can go early. You can come to the club and eat. There's a Joey Kola burger. I recommend it highly. There's chips on the burger.
There is.
But if you don't want to go there,
I'm going to the Mediterranean Grill.
Go to the Mediterranean Grill.
That's where I'm going.
Get pancakes at IHOP. It's right behind. It's in Levittown, right off Hempstead Turnpike. Wants to know. Afterwards, there's a Starbucks up the street. You get a cup of coffee, you go home.
Yeah, it's going to be an epic event, and I'm just so thrilled, to go and to support everyone for Bob. I haven't talked to Trish in a while,
right,
and I don't like to bother them.
You can text them,
I text her every now and then, but like I said, I just. I'm blessed with who's in my life.
That's right.
Who's in
That's
my
right. And
who
hopefully
God,
we
who
can
God
keep
puts in my path,
a few of them around a
including
little bit
you,
longer.
my friend.
Yeah, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. So
listen, I am just so glad that you're here. You've had your challenges. Actually, when you
I'm getting over Bell's palsy
You're getting
now.
over the Bell's palsy.
See the left side of my face. I had Bell's palsy in
Yes.
December. It's 70% back.
Yes.
And I got my speech back
Yes,
now.
thank
So
God.
the two hardest words to say when you get Bell's palsy is Bell's palsy. Because if I let up and I don't watch Bell's palsy, I got Bell's palsy. You can't say anything begins with F.
Right.
I went to down south and I went to CVS and I go, can I have some flip flops? The girl was like, what? Flip-flops. I need some flip-flops. I got Bell's palsy.
Oh my God! Shout out to Anthony who's watching, fellow
Annie.
actor. Anthony Coppola and I were in a movie called Delusional, and we went to the premiere not that long ago. He is handsome. He's talented, and I hope to work with him again one day.
One more thing. You're never going to see these comedians in a room together ever again.
Never.
Martling, myself, Bartlett, Peter Bales, Richie, Mulrooney, Brad Lowry, Vinny's going to be there.
Yeah.
To get them, it was monumental.
It is monumental.
To get us in the room together like that.
Yeah.
But that night, Rob Bartlett.
It's going to be electric.
If you've never seen Rob Bartlett, you have to come see him. Jackie's going to be there telling all his jokes and all his great Jackie glory. And you're going to see Richie Minervini, who is the classic godfather of... He headlines cruise ships all over the world.
I know.
Do you have any idea how in demand this guy is all over the world? He's from Huntington. And now there's cruise ships that go to Europe and Russia and up to Alaska and around Italy and everywhere. He's in high demand, you know? Yeah, him and John Joseph.
So, you're not going to see these people in a room all together. It
No,
really
it's a one-time
It really is
thing.
epic. It is. It's going to be an epic night. So July 22nd, if you're not doing anything, go to govs.com. Bob Nelson, two Bob with love.
Yeah.
And
it's a love fest. It's going to be a love fest. A lot of hugging and comedy. We're all bringing our A game as hard as possible, so it's not going to be any dead air.
It's going to be amazing.
You're going to be laughing hard the whole time. I promise you that.
Amazing. Listen, Joey, we got like a minute left.
Right.
Tell everyone how they can follow you, and tell them about the Soprano comedy. You're going to start that up soon, right?
Comedy and Conversation with the Sopranos. It's me. I just host it. It's Steve Sharippa, Mike Imperioli, and Vinny Pastore.
Yep.
And we travel and do theaters all over the country and in Europe and in Canada. So we start those up again in September. We'll be at the Borgata October 30th, I believe, that show. And also, then I'll be at McGuire's this Friday.
Yep.
And then you can just follow me on Facebook. Just follow Joey Kola on Facebook and Instagram. That's all. Or my website is down now because that's a whole nother story. My daughter's ex-boyfriend was doing it, and he's gone. I don't even want to get into that, why that's gone. But let's just say, if you need my bio or a picture, go to the website. Other than that, just go to Instagram or Facebook or come to my house. I live in Belmore. I'm not hard to find. Better yet, you know what? You go to Mediterranean Grill. I will be there eating half this menu. Probably 3 or 4 days of the week. I'll be eating the galactapurico, chicken souvlaki, and there's nothing like a wonderful gyro salad.
That's it.
Extra white sauce. Hello.
Listen, I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I love you so much.
I love you.
And I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Tea Time.
Thank you.
you for supporting me. I'm going to have on Richie Menavini next week. We're going to keep talking about this fundraiser.
Yes.
We want to sell this thing out.
And we also want to find out who else Peter Bales kissed in their driveway. Because I told him, Peter, I'm going in a different direction.
Listen, everyone stay safe. Be kind, okay, to one another. Be humble and stay safe. Love everyone. God bless.
Bye,
Ciao.
guys.